When I was a kid, I was taught that boys would be boys, right? Apparently, these SJWs are against that and they're against masculinity. And here is what MTV has to say about that.
We have a serious sexual assault problem in the United States. One of the reasons why, toxic masculinity.
Yeah, because we all should be pussies all day. I mean, yeah, I really don't like this SJW rhetoric. It's fucking killing me.
Now let's be clear, masculinity is not inherently a bad thing. What's bad is when society tells us that being
That guy looks like he jerks off with both arms.
a man means things like strength and power at the expense of being allowed to really feel things. Imagine your favorite male protagonist. Is he cold and aloof, hardened, brooding? Does he scowl, make dark jokes in the face of danger? Well, this is our cultural ideal of manhood. It gets worse.
So let me get this straight. It's wrong for me to like someone just because they're masculine. Well, I mean, all those people that he showed are also like talented and successful. You know, some of my favorite people who are artists and comedians are very sensitive and they show their feelings and emotions. They just happen to also be masculine at times.
When anything that society deems feminine, like having feelings, gets pegged as a threat to manhood, the worst thing a manly man can do is act like a woman. Side note, this is also why toxic masculinity is super homophobic.
Masculinity is homophobic because it makes fun of people who act like women. Well, maybe gay people should stop acting like women. Well, wait, but that's generalizing people, and we don't want to do that, right? I mean, SJWs love doing that shit.
DeAndre Levy of the Detroit Lions wrote recently, quote, "It's truly astounding how many awful things that occur in this world because men are afraid of appearing weak." Levy notes that in locker rooms, power is measured in sexual conquests, dehumanizing women in the process. We're so caught up in these toxic ideas that a woman granting her affirmative consent to sex, well, that too often becomes secondary to our needs. Let's put that in the context of American college.
Wow, this guy obviously didn't read the guy code. In the guy code, it clearly states that if a woman denies sex from you, you have to rape her. And if you don't, you're automatically a woman.
Just in universities, where sexual assault has become an epidemic. Reported sex crimes increased 126% from 2001 to 2013. College is a petri dish for bad ideas about sexual behavior, a place that often magnifies toxic conceptions of masculinity. Too many.
This is why we should condemn every college movie ever made, like Animal House and such like that, because they exploit toxic masculinity. And we should also condemn all those, pornos like College Invasion and all that. Fucking stupid.
Men learn in college to view women as things to be aggressively obtained, to be conquered, to be used for our enjoyment and pleasure. That's just part of what we know as rape culture. All the ideas and beliefs that make people think sexual violence is acceptable. Rape culture includes the misogynist images we're fed in popular culture, where male violence is depicted as sexually alluring and something that enhances the protagonist's manhood.
He's making a good statement here, because after men kill people, I mean every man, it doesn't matter what it is, or people, person, or thing, they always like to have sex with it, rape it, fuck it, killed a spider the other day, had it wrapped around my little dick.
Toxic masculinity, when you think about it, is very selfish. A lot of that is about entitlement. We're entitled to a voice, entitled to a job, entitled to sex. All these things we're told we deserve because we're guys. Some of us don't react well when we're challenged. Women disagreeing with us or telling us no, for example. In those moments, we react how we've learned to.
No, honestly, sex is just viewed as such a commodity in this country, or not just in this country, just everywhere. So, we deem it, higher than a lot of things, and we look at it as a guy who fucked a lot of chicks, or fucked a lot of women, or fucked a lot of bitches, as, hey, that's a pretty smart guy. He accomplished something there.
With aggression, with harassment, with violence. We've got to unlearn that stuff. Basically, toxic masculinity has screwed us guys up. Anger, violence, and entitlement are not admirable qualities. And coming to grips with that is the first step in understanding that ending sexual assault is our problem to solve too. So how do we solve it?
See, the problem with that statement is how unrealistic it really is. Because honestly, we'll never end violence and we'll never end sexual assault. These are things that bad people do, And you can't really tell someone not to rape because it's bad. They know it's bad, they're gonna do it anyways. They don't care. That's why it's stupid.
How do we detox? Hold friends accountable and intervene when you see harassment or assault. Don't be the guy who wishes he'd said something to stop his friend. Listen to survivors and believe them when they speak up.
Yeah, it's not like all alleged rape victims have been liars before, ever. I mean, nobody has ever lied about a rape or a sexual assault. And you know what? We should believe them, because who really cares about the guy? Yeah, it's gonna ruin his life, but, you know, she'll have a better life.
If you don't, it has a chilling effect for others who have experienced sexual assault. They see other survivors being shut down or dismissed and think it would be easier to stay quiet. Read and understand legislation that's addressing the problem, including a bill called the Campus Safety and Accountability Act, which would create incentives for schools to better protect students from sexual assault. If you support bills like this, let your senator or representative know. If not, be constructive and
Hey, Senator, I support this shit. I don't care.
best ways to improve them. And most of all, learn about and practice affirmative consent, which means all parties in sexual activity communicating an explicit yes. And when one person's mental state is impaired because they're drunk or high,
I guess when Prank Invasion isn't here, I'm here to show you guys how to consent properly. You know, so you'll be able to fuck the bitches with consent. Oh man, football practice was so hard. You want to consent to some good old-fashioned Harambe gorilla fucking? OMG, yes. 1,000 times yes, Ben. 1,000 times.
there is no consent. I'm Jamil Smith, and this is The Racket.
The problem with that is I'm always drunk and or high, so every woman that has ever had sex with me is now a rapist. Thanks, dude. Alluding to the fucking rape culture. How was I so naive? Anyways, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.